Hello and welcome to the Boardman Township Report. I'm Peter Fernandez, and joining me today are Township Fiscal Officer Bill Light and Police Chief Jack Nichols. Thank you both for being here.
Thank you.
Good morning.
Okay, so the township had a renewal levy on the ballot the past election day, and the voters approved it. How does this help the township, and when it comes to our roads and fire and police services?
That 2.2 mil levy is a police levy that really just maintains. There's nothing new. And unfortunately, in the state of Ohio, when you renew a levy like that, you actually get less money than the 2.2 mils. And I haven't translated it, but it's somewhere below 2 points that we collect out of that.
Okay. So soon there will be a transition in police departments. Chief Nichols, you will be retiring after 40 years of service to the department. Looking back, what do you feel are some of your major accomplishments?
Oh, wow. Well, first of all, I would say that they're probably not my accomplishments. They're the accomplishments of the men and women that work at the police department and the township overall. One of the things about Boardman is in the 40 years I've been there, and most importantly, the last 8 years, we've always functioned as a team. So I don't look at anything as my accomplishment. I think here recently we've gone through a major transition with the 911, and Boardman and Austintown basically have taken a lead role for the entire county and have absorbed the 911 operations for most of the county, less the city of Youngstown. And that's really been a technical challenge, computers, telephones, radios, and fiscal, because an enormous amount of money had to be expended to bring us up to date. And so Mr. Light, being the fiscal officer, kind of took the leadership role in putting the money together and making it all work so that the citizens, not only in Boardman, but the entire county, would be protected.
Yeah.
So I would think probably most recently our team, that was one of the bigger things we've done recently.
Okay.
That was a very modest answer. What happened was the radio systems in Ohio changed, and it had to go to a new system, which was about $2 million.
More than that, yeah.
A little over $2 million. And the problem was, we have Youngstown City, the Sheriff's Department, Austintown, Boardman. We were all going to have to expend a little over $2 million apiece to put this radio system in place. Through Jack's leadership, Austintown and the Sheriff's Department got together. It was actually Boardman and Austintown to start with, and decided we would joint venture a program to put these radios in. The sheriff was smart enough to recognize that he didn't want to spend $2 million, so he jumped in with us. And it's the first time that we had any cooperative efforts in Mahoning County. Okay. And the state, through its cutbacks, forced forward thinking and finding ways to do things at a less rate for each township. Jack took the lead on that with the police chief over in Austintown. The sheriff jumped in on it, and we put together a COG, Council of Governments, to run this system. And since we did that, we've taken over dispatching in almost all of the county.
A lot of the smaller jurisdictions
That couldn't even begin to afford the radio system. Plus, this new system is so much better. There were places in Struthers, Lowellville, that couldn't get calls in because they were too low, too high, something. Now I think everybody is.
We have some very, very good coverage now.
And in addition, we're doing the fire departments. I know in Boardman we do ours. I don't know about how many other fire departments are on.
Well, Austintown is on it, and Youngstown Fire Department is on the system now also.
So that modest answer of, this is the guy.
Yeah.
And Mahoning County, you know, if I could get him to run for county commissioner, I'd probably do it.
Not going to happen.
Or drive a flower truck.
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah. Well, what are your hopes and dreams for Boardman's Police Department in the future?
I'm very happy with the selection of Todd Worth to be the police chief when I leave at the beginning of the year. Todd currently is the supervisory special agent in charge of the Youngstown office of the FBI. He has a very excellent military history with the Army Rangers and 20 years with the FBI. Very, very smart guy. I couldn't be happier with the trustees' selection of him to take care of the department, because that's kind of my department. You know, I've lived there for 40 years now. So, and I think that you know, all organizations need change. And I've done some things right, and I've done some things wrong, and some things need changed in the organization right now. And I think Todd is the perfect selection to lead that change. And it's all for the good, you know. But it's a thing about organizations. Sometimes they get stagnant, and I've been the chief for 8 years now, and it's time for some new stuff, for a new look. And so I think he's going to do just an excellent job for the community. He's lived here in Boardman for I think about 20 years. He's ingrained, entrenched into the community, active in a lot of organizations. His kids have gone through the Boardman schools, and he's just going to be just a real asset to the township, leading the police department.
Yeah. Well, Mr. Light, I've noticed the fire station construction, it seems to be moving along quickly. Are you still on schedule for the spring opening?
We are absolutely on schedule for the spring opening, even though we had a couple of time setbacks. We had to change water hookups. We were going to use the water hookup from Youngstown City Water that is in front of Center Middle School. Found out that they weren't going to move any further towards our fire station. So we had to go underneath Market Street to hook up our water with Aqua. That was the only minor glitch that we've had. The weather cooperated tremendously. We'll be under roof here not too short future, and then they can start on the inside. And that's you know, getting the shell done is the important thing. I think the roof is just about finished now. That's the big issue.
Yeah. Well, are we still on budget for the?
Oh yeah, yes. You know, even though it's we've come under some issues like that, we had a contingency set up of $300,000. We haven't used any. Well, we've used a little bit of it, but not all of it. So we're still on target with our numbers.
As we approach winter, how is the snow removal budget?
It's strong enough to make sure that you kids don't miss a day of school. No, actually, we've had a couple of mild winters. We have, I think, enough salt right now to get through the winter months. We've added some new equipment, replaced some older equipment. Didn't buy anything new. And so I think we're in great shape as far as that particular area goes. We still continually fight the potholes in the winter. And that's something that it's northeastern Ohio. You know, if the drivers would just pay attention and slow down a little bit. I mean, you know, I've lived here all of my life, and it hasn't changed.
Yeah.
So, and it isn't going to change. So I just, you know, would caution people to slow down a little bit and live with the potholes, because there's not a thing that we can do to fix that permanently. I mean, you go through with cold patch, you put it down, the water gets down underneath it, it freezes, it pops, and you're back to where you were. And that could be as much as 24 hours. So it doesn't always work.
Yeah.
And, you know, we can keep the roads clean, we can keep the roads safe. The potholes are going to be there. So.
Yeah, it sounds like a great plan, but can we just get like one day off, you know?
Well, believe me, I don't want to say anything about the teachers union, but I'm sure they're going to find a way to say it's too bad. They'll get their one day off.
We've had you've talked about we've had a relatively mild winter last year. Did that save any money?
Oh, yes. We didn't have to purchase near as much salt. Salt prices came down because everybody prepared, all the suppliers prepared for bad winter. They stockpiled, they had a lot of inventory. That didn't happen, so now there's a glut of inventory, and so they're selling it a little bit cheaper. We have a good stockpile, the prices are coming down, so I don't look for any major issues there.
Okay. Is there anything else the township residents should know as we head into December?
Well, I think that the silent issue is our zoning. Boardman is an old community now. We have, all the growth has been to the south. The north end of town is the north end of town, and it's been here for, the 50 years that I've been around. And so we have to make sure that we keep the integrity of that, and that's answered by good policing. We pay attention to that area. We get the police cruisers through there. There's generally no fire issues up there, but it's older, and we got to take care of the roads, the streets, and concentrate on that area. As far as personnel, we've got all the personnel that we need right now. We're fully staffed at all positions. The 2.2 mil levy passed. We're looking now at doing some things that may require a new levy, but before we'll even consider a new levy on the books, there will be plenty of public discussion, plenty of reaching out to the community, having them involved, and talking about how, when, where, and what. This just recently, the St. Elizabeth Hospital had made a application to become tax exempt for real estate tax purposes. And they were successful in getting that. And as a result of that, Boardman Township lost $360 some odd thousand in real estate tax collection this year that was already budgeted in our budget. The schools, I think, probably lost closer to $1 million, and it was in their budget, and they weren't anticipating it. So, that's a big dent and a big hole in the bucket that we have to fill. And we have a couple of other hospitals located, and I think this is just the tip of the iceberg. So we'll have to take a look at that and make sure that we're in a position to budget accordingly and work from that angle.
Thank you both for being here. I'm Peter Fernandez from Boardman Schools Television Network. Have a great day.